Let's just jump into it, guys. Good morning. And I want to start here. Last week when I was in New Orleans, I wanted to very clearly make my time worth it. Have to take time off from my normal job. Have to go out there. It just all has to be worth it, right? And my number one thing that I was trying to accomplish there is Kyler Murray the guy? And I'll be honest with you, I didn't think I was going to be able to get as high-ranking interviews as I did on Radio Row. I talked with Nick Wright of FS1. I talked with Will Hernandez, the Arizona Cardinals offensive line. I talked with Chris Sims of Pro Football Talk. I talked with Kevin Clark of The Ringer. I talked with numerous people, Dennis Pitta, Todd Heap. I still have interviews in the can that I still have to put out on YouTube, but those can take a little bit of time. They're pretty evergreen. Everyone I talk to, every single one, Nick Wright, Kevin Clark, Trevor Sikkema, these are all high-ranking officials. These are not people that I just made up. Will Hernandez, everyone, Kevin Clark, Todd Heap, Dennis Pitta. No one can quit Kyler Murray. No one. And I'll be honest with you. Going into that week, I was very skeptical of Kyler. In fact, I asked multiple people. It's another good one, Ivan. Dan Orlowski had him on the show. Also was not out on Kyler Murray. There wasn't a single person outside of one who was skeptical about Kyler, but wasn't out on his skill set or his talents. It was very eye-opening. And that surprised me to the 10th degree, because I just didn't expect everyone to have so much grace for Kyler Murray in his 6th season. Next year is going to be year 7 for Kyler. And still part of me is saying, I don't know. I don't know how much I can believe in him for the foreseeable future as the Arizona Cardinals franchise quarterback for the next future, or for the foreseeable future. What I think is so interesting about it is everyone cited his talent, everyone cited his accuracy, everyone cited his mobility. But what I thought was so interesting is no one cited his late season collapse. I had to continuously remind people, Orlowski, Nick Wright, Kevin Clark, Will Hernandez, all these people who were not out on Kyler Murray. I had to remind everyone, hey guys, he did collapse to end the year. No one seemed to remember that. All anyone can remember is Kyler Murray's athleticism. That was the one thing to me that was incredibly shocking out on Radio Row. The one thing that I wanted to go set out and figure out in my time in New Orleans. Is Kyler Murray still the guy? How do other top-ranking media members feel about Kyler Murray? And from everyone I interviewed, Dan Orlowski, Kevin Clark, Nick Wright, Trevor Sikkema, local guys like Bo Brock and Johnny Venerable, Will Hernandez, the Cardinals offensive lineman, Todd Heap, Dennis Pitta. No one was out on Kyler Murray. Not a single person. All of them were over the moon about his talent, about his accuracy, about his mobility, and that genuinely shocked me. And it got me thinking, am I too hard on Kyler? Because I wanted him to be better over the stretch end of the season, where he threw bad interception after bad interception, each one worse than the last, where it made me really think, I don't know how much longer I can stand on Kyler. But whether it was Dan Orlowski or Nick Wright or Trevor Sikkema or whoever it was, whatever high-ranking person, Kevin Clark, they all said the same thing. No, you can win a Super Bowl with Kyler. And after you watch Jalen Hurts in the Super Bowl, it really makes you think, well, maybe they're right. I'll stand by I don't think Jalen Hurts is that much better, if any, than Kyler Murray. I don't think Jalen Hurts, especially in that Super Bowl, was asked to do a ton. Threw the ball 22 times, ran the ball another 10 times. They follow the formula that works for Jalen Hurts. But my opinion has done a bit of a 180 here. Maybe not a 180, but maybe a full 90 degrees. I'm ready to continue to roll it out with Kyler. I'm ready to see what he can do next year. In his third year in an offense, with more weapons, with a free agency, hopefully he can be healthy again. But that was the one thing on Radio Row out in New Orleans that I was just absolutely astonished by. Because I've held this team accountable. I've held Kyler Murray accountable. I've given praise where it's due, and I've given criticism where it's due. And late in the season, it was a lot of criticism, because a lot of that was due towards Kyler Murray. But I got to be honest. When I talk face-to-face in interviews with some of the smartest analysts when it comes to the NFL and evaluating quarterbacks, at some point, maybe I just have to look myself in the mirror and say, I was wrong. Because Joe Schmo on the couch and myself live streaming in the mornings can feel one way about Kyler, but I got to be fair. It just seems like everyone else feels differently than us. And two things can be true. Kyler Murray can have had a horrific, just awful, abysmal second half of the season. And you can still win a championship with him. You just can't ask him to do everything. But if there was one thing on Radio Row that did surprise me, it was the fact of just how in NFL media is still on Kyler. Still in on Kyler. It's wild to me. I thought everyone was going to take victory laps about how right they were on Kyler. It was not the case. Dan Orlowski, one of the smartest NFL analysts out there, said there's things Kyler Murray can do that no one else can do, and we don't say that about everyone in the NFL. Nick Wright, although talked about potentially trading him and giving him a fresh start, he wasn't out on him. Trevor Sikkema almost walked off the set when I lofted at him that the Cardinals should think about potentially drafting a quarterback, just as a backup plan. That's what the NFL media felt like. It got me thinking, maybe I'm just a little too hard on Kyler. And we'll see how it goes next season. But if there was one thing that shocked me, it was just how in the NFL media still is on that being Kyler Murray.